Hello, is the Sinister Gambino here with a new stream. And the stream I'm going to be going over the event week for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. And also I did kind of purposely do this event week stream pretty late because I didn't see much of the point in doing it as early as I usually do when there's not a very significant addition into the game. Still titled it like normal because there is technically an addition to this game just for this week, being the $1 million for Twitch Prime. So yeah, for those on Twitch Prime like myself, in 72 hours after your initial login, it sounds like you'll be gaining $1 million. So it will take 3 days apparently in order to get the $1 million. So obviously don't panic if you haven't got it. Nobody should have really got it yet. It does indeed take 72 hours from what I saw in the Newswire. I'm sure there's always people that panic when they don't get their money right away though. But whatever. So I'm making my way to the podium vehicle, of course, aka the casino. Went to the Diamond Casino and Resort to show off the podium vehicle, and it's the Shotaro. Figured I would mention it now, since obviously the Newswire's out. Since I didn't want to really do this one early, I've been doing early like streams for Grand Theft Auto Online for the longest time. Obviously when the like vehicles were still releasing, but as of last week, of course, we got our final vehicle from the DLC. So I kind of want to take a break from doing an early stream. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this one later, is because I've been doing them early for like the past 3 months for the DLC. And yeah, like I mentioned, there's not a very significant like addition to the game, of course, when the only thing this week really is the Twitch Prime $1 million. Also, since I'm on an Oppressor, of course, and I also have on a Spectator, there's the Oppressor Mark 2 on 30% off discount. Surprised I didn't fall off there, that was quite the weak fence. And then, yeah, the only money opportunities are actually 3 times money as well, so there's no 2 times money, only 3 times money, which is quite awesome. One of them, of course, is a very good money opportunity. The other one, though, it's an okay one, I would say, at best. And it is kind of an important one to do at least a single time in order to unlock the Shotaro, which is indeed the podium vehicle for this week. I'm just obviously going to the casino to actually show it off and prove that's the case. Obviously, I know there's the Newswire, so it's not as necessary. But I do like to do 1 spin every single week at minimum when I do these event week streams.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the dream guy in her head wouldn't even step over to take a leak.
So yeah, there it is, of course, Nagasaki Shotaro. I'll go into some details of it, of course, once I get done with my 3-wheel spin. But basically, before I do that, I will just mention it is a very good one to get for this event week for the podium vehicle. Obviously, there's guaranteed ways to do that, of course, but you have to go to the game. But of course, people do it legitimately like I do. It is a really good one to have if you do not have one already. And there really is no point in getting the vehicle, I'm pretty sure, if of course you already have it, because you can't sell it or anything. Well, maybe you can make some profit selling your one you bought before, but that's the only thing I could possibly think of. Either way, I got clothing unlock. Honestly, I'm quite thankful for that, actually, because I don't want the Shotaro, because I already have one. Yeah, it's definitely very viable to get a Shotaro if you get lucky enough. And there's just a preview of some of the discounts, but I'll talk about those in a little bit. There's a couple more discounts as well. So I believe out of the 6 discounts, 2 of them are Twitch Prime, 4 of them so far are on the site. But once again, we talk about those in a little bit, or at least sometime later. So yeah, by gaining a Nagasaki Shotaro, you'll be saving $2,225,000. Some of the biggest savings probably through the podium vehicle, of course. I think the biggest savings have been through the like Formula 1 car arcade, which was also actually an exclusive vehicle on there for the first week, of course, on the podium. But yeah, the Shotaro. What exactly makes this vehicle very good? One, I'm pretty sure when it comes to not including rocket-powered vehicles, it's #1 for lap time and top speed. So this is the best regular option for the motorcycles class. And obviously with it not being weaponized or with a rocket boost or anything like that, it's very viable in races, because when you include stuff like that, of course, they're not going to be like as usable on races, of course. Since those kind of vehicles are not very utilized in races like at all, unless they're like transform races and stuff. So pretty much any race you'll be able to use Shotaro, which is great. So it's pretty much the #1 option for motorcycles for most races. And then, yeah, it corners really well from my experience as well. I would definitely say that's to be expected with a Tron-like bike, obviously. But just so people know, it is very good at cornering. That's another good thing about it. And also, I would say honestly this vehicle has improved in the past couple of DLCs in terms of its usefulness, I would say. And the reason for that is that time trials since the Diamond Casino Resort DLC, aka the previous DLC, no longer allow you to use vehicles with rocket boosts. So when they doubled the pay for the time trials, when they doubled that, they did remove the ability to use rocket vehicles and whatnot on time trials. So it's definitely going to be one of your most useful investments as well when it comes to time trials if you do those for like 100,000 every single week. That's another really good purpose for the Shotaro. Honestly, it's probably going to highly depend on the time trial for if it's useful or not, but I would say for the most part you're going to be really good to go with a Shotaro. It's probably the best vehicle, I would say, for time trials, because it's so good in the motorcycles class. And then like obviously the rate, and then the oppressors I think were always banned actually, but you used to be able to use the death bike, I think, in the original DLC release, but obviously with the changes you can't use the death bike anymore either, I believe. So yes, this is definitely the #1 option for time trials. I gotta see if it's certain. Obviously, for certain ones as well, supercars could be good as well for certain time trials, like the Wagner S80RR, stuff like that. But yeah, because it's nowhere near the size of a supercar in that regard, it also proves that it's like the best vehicle for time trials. So yeah, very, very good if you do end up getting that. So yeah, that's a description of the podium vehicle and why I think it's a very good one to get for this week. I might as well go into the one like money opportunity on the pause menu as well. So sorry if it was confusing. I like to put numbers like 1 through 7, but not every adversary mode has the numbers 1 through 7. Some have less than 7 maps. But yeah, Deadline is an adversary mode. And it does actually have its own maps, like most do. So that's the only difference really on the different maps would be locations.
Yeah, the funny thing is, did Dream Guide
On the
her head
newswire,
when
they
he
do go
misstep
in
over her to
details and
take a
whatnot
leak?
on like the power-ups
Yeah,
as
the funny
well.
thing is,
So
did
just look
Dream
at the
Guide her head
newswire for
when he
like
misstep
more
over her
details
to take
on
a leak?
like the like how to play this and whatnot. Don't really heavily on adversary modes like at all, I would say, when I usually do these streams. Yeah, it's nice that it's 3 times money in RP. Like I mentioned, there's no 2 times money or like 50% more or anything like that for this week. Every single money opportunity this week is 3 times money RP, but it's one of 2 money opportunities. This, I would say, is the lesser of the 2 money opportunities. It's hard to say if it's really a good adversary mode or not for money making. Certain ones are a lot better, I would say, than others for making money, and there's so many adversary modes in the game. Even I haven't played all of them. Though I've even played like all the like contact missions and whatnot. Of course, one day I hope to play every single adversary mode, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So honestly, I feel they're quite outdated, and honestly should have stopped making them like a while ago. I'm glad they kind of stopped doing that, like as of like Arena Wars or After Hours. I think it was like After Hours, the last DLC they did. Any new adversary modes might be wrong though. Would make sense though, because the Arena Wars was essentially like glorified adversary modes. And how did that DLC turn out? As much as I wanted it to succeed, it didn't turn out very well, I would say. But yeah, you will want to play this one at least once if you have not unlocked the Shotaro. I think the Shotaro is the only vehicle in the game that has like a requirement anymore in order to unlock it. Like yes, there used to be a lot more vehicles that required things in order to unlock them. But the Shotaro, I think, is the only one that stood the test of time and still the only one that requires any sort of thing you have to do in the game in order to attain it. Actually, there's Armor and Paragon R for completing all the story missions for the casino from the previous DLC, but aside from that, I think it's just Shotaro. Of course, there used to be ones that required like a certain rank. You used to have to unlock like the heist vehicles by playing through the like heist setups and heists, but there's buy it now prices instead for those now. But yeah. And of course, better of the options for making money would be business battles. We have no doubt on that business battles would be the best of the 2 money opportunities. And those are being very friendly for invite-only lobbies as well. As long as you have a couple people active on the map on invite-only lobbies, business battles will definitely be the way to go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the requirement is you have to have at least 3 people active on the map, not in like properties and whatnot. They might have to be separate organizations, not entirely sure, or something like that. That was the minimum in order to cause business battles to spawn. So if there's like 2 more players in addition to me, and this invite only, business battles would start spawning. That's basically the strategy for making money with the business battles. Honestly, unless you need to unlock the Shotaro, I wouldn't even bother with that one though. I would just purely stick to the business battles. Especially because I think those are Especially because I think it's the first time with triple money on business battles. I don't think they've ever done more than like 2 times money. So 3 times money on it is actually very impressive. I think it's the first time. And also, I'm actually going to customize my Twitch Prime vehicles on this stream. If I don't already have any of the Twitch Prime vehicles. Might have it some pasted, I don't think I have it in Jada.
Let me know.
So I gotta verify that I have any of them or not. They both might be new supercars for me. Alright, I do not have either of the Twitch Prime vehicles, so I'll be customizing both of those. And since some fools in my fucking way, I have to kind of customize them now. Because I don't have to talk much for the customizations, basically. I go in details with what I think of these later. Since ass wipes in my way, of course. I'll go red on this one. I'm definitely going red on this one, I would say. Also, these 2 vehicle discounts go to the 26th, I believe, so there's 2 weeks for these, like, most Twitch Prime discounts. It goes for 2 weeks. But yeah, since they're giving away free money, I might as well customize them at least a tiny bit during the stream. And we're giving free money for Twitch Prime exclusively, as I put on the title. I think I'm going black on this one, yeah, definitely. Black or blue? Yeah, probably black. I wait for my vehicles to show up, of course. I'll go over to time trial and whatnot. Premium race for this week is down the drain for the muscle class. I don't know if earlier during the event week, like right when it came out, if it was something else. Don't think so. It was the sort of first day of the event week. And I think they typically continue the one from the previous week that was from the last part of the event week. So tomorrow it should change, and it should also change like one more time, I think. And one more vehicles already seems to be delivered, so that's good. First one you'll probably want vehicles like the Yosemite and like the Click and whatnot, if I recall from like what the best regular muscle cars are. Top 3 for muscle cars, I believe, is the Arena War vehicles, and those you're not really going to be able to use on that. Keep that in mind. That's just what I remember, but of course refer to roughly 1322 for details on what would be the best for the muscle class. Alright, here's the regular time trial. The regular time trial for this week is Fort Zancudo. And I'm not entirely sure if this one's an easy one or a hard one. Might be a more like average one, not very sure. It's definitely not like the hardest one of all the time trials, I would definitely say that. So yeah, that's the regular time trial of the week. The RC time trial for the week, the RC Bandito time trial for the week. It's Construction Site 1. So it's back to the start of the RC Bandito time trials. Of course, there's going to be a number 9 that loops back to Construction Site 1 again. Since the last week, of course, I had the last one being Power Station. Alright, both of them delivered, nice. So a couple of vehicles I actually haven't customized yet. Maybe I should customize those actually instead. Yeah, I might as well as my money after all. Plus, the Twitch Prime discounts are still going on next week, so I do have next week to customize them if I want to. I'm still waiting for a bitch ass to get on my way, of course.
Anything I can do? Anything at all?
I think this one's a Shoggen, right? Yeah, it definitely is. So yeah, I'm basically customizing since a couple of vehicles still don't get on my fucking way.
How many cars you got in this garage again? You've got an eye for this stuff. No rush at all. She is hot.
Oh,
long
damn.
and hard. Whatever you
Oh,
decide.
yeah. Definitely gotta get those street
Technology and
guns.
budget permitting. There you go. Look at her now. If you can think it, I can do it.
Damn, I really like how crazy those abstract ones are. Red or blue, though. I wonder if green, so blue would probably be closer. Yeah, I don't really
Decisions
care.
is
I'll go
stressful.
for red abstract. Oh dang, this one even seems to have some livery to it. Definitely doing this one then.
Not a bad job. Bodywork to match the driver.
I think I want to try honoring. I went for green.
Life is hard when you can have anything.
God damn, finally some asshole got out of my fucking way. I like the variety for sure, and classic colors more. I think I'm gonna break
Anything to
away
drink?
from customizing as
Bubbles
well, because I
or
did
something?
decide to go for other ones from before. Yeah, I decided to customize other like Tortron vehicles. I just haven't got to customizing, so I think I will. Just go on with the rest of the event week stream. Might go racing green.
How many cars you got in this garage again?
With all these bright, vibrant colors, I don't think darker green is gonna go that well, but we'll take racing green, and that's kind of a darker one. I really like gasoline green though, personally. I personally do, at least.
No rush at all.
Yeah, I love lime green as well, but like, I probably have other vehicles of that already. Eh, the time advanced handling flags are surprising for a vehicle these days in GT Online, so it is a good vehicle for racing, I would say, so
Your
racing green
cosmetics are on
is.
point.
And yeah, anymore these days I don't really do like a different secondary, so I'll do the same for a secondary. That's why I went for the primaries over the secondaries, since I pretty much knew I was going to color them the same color anyways.
Girl is looking good.
Oh yeah, shit, it's even a trim color, which is cool. Also racing green for that, though. I might go a different green for the trim, actually.
long and hard.
River racing again, gasoline or lime. Kind of goes well with the outside colors, I would say. Or the lime, so I guess I will lime then. Why not? Yeah, I'll finish customizing this though, because of course some asshole got in my way, like usual. Alright. Got his primary alt roof because it's store team still logo, which I like. Primary race skirts. In fairness, traction with the stock spoilers are pretty good, and the stock spoilers don't have a traction boost. I'm definitely guessing no spoiler has a traction boost, because I've seen quite surprising times where things have added traction boost when they probably shouldn't. So having no spoiler probably gives a traction boost over the stock one. Probably going big and bold with mine though, for sure.
If you can think it,
I'm one that likes interesting customizations. I'm not very simple-minded or anything when it comes to my customizations like other people surely are. Oh dang.
you've got an eye for the stuff.
Could definitely been a factor. As if it's not already advertised enough though.
Hope they're tuned like you want them.
This is technically a sports car, so I'll go for sport rims. Why not? Oh, split six. Why not?
You're not gonna get a flat.
Technically did nothing but green, so I'll go green tire swap. Get those kind of customizations as well. Like doing actual customizations first, of course, in case I end up getting really low on money.
Sometimes, don't you wish you could put the brakes on life?
Yeah, you'll definitely be able to get both like Twitch Prime vehicles with the $1 million and probably fully customized or almost fully customized at least a single like one of them as well. So it's definitely a very good value at $1 million. It pretty much makes the Twitch Prime vehicles free for this week.
Making decisions is stressful.
Alright, good. My fucking asshole brother is taking a shower instead of fucking shaving. So that's good. So I'll still going as usual then. Screw it.
Life is hard when you can have anything.
Just my typical one, might as well. I did lime green as a trim color, but trim color is technically an extra-ish color, I would say. I don't really go mint green much either. Price difference is like nothing as well, so either one will do, basically. Screw it, I'll go lime green.
Is that what you were looking for? Stick to the speed limit. I'm joking.
Alright, it's fully customized. Nice. So I finally got my Shogun GT fully customized. Apologies for saying I was going to customize the other vehicles when I decided to go for my Shogun GT instead, because apparently these two I haven't customized at all yet. Oh well. It is what it is. Yeah, sorry for the long way, of course. My fucking asshole brother, my asshole big fucking brother gets in my fucking way, of course, because our fucking rooms are connected by a fucking bathroom, which is annoying. I just wanted to paste I'll say I'm not in party, but I might as well just leave it as is, because I'm sticking in my invite only. That also reminds me kind of, even though I kind of thought of it before, that I have not done a microphone test, but as usual, it should work. And yeah, there's my F&J. So right now I'm going to be doing a microphone test here. Alright. Good. Heard myself on there, because there's very rare times where my microphone just won't work. And then I'll have to like turn it on again just for it to work. And then I have to turn on my headphones, just turn it on again for the audio or whatever. Very rare, but it does happen. So now let's see where I need to go on, of course. So I gotta look at the news wire again, see where I left off. Alright, yeah, it pretty much only seems to be discount stuff to talk about anymore. Yeah, it's definitely discounts left. And I'm done. So I'll go into property discounts first. And I think only one of them are actually on this website. The other ones are through... The other ones are through the open road, like on the actual like Clubhouse laptop. So yeah, custom bike shop for MC Clubhouses are 40% off, I believe. Oh no, it's 35% off MC Clubhouse custom bike shops, or 45% off for Twitch Prime, because they're the typical 10% more discount. And I do not recommend a custom bike shop for those that don't, like, that haven't really touched the biker clubhouses or whatever. Because essentially it's the exact same thing as a LS Customs, it's just only for bikes, of course, and you have the convenience of doing it in your MC Clubhouse. Which, yeah, it's nice if you store a lot of them and don't want to drive them to Los Santos Customs or something every time. But really, even at a discounted price, I really don't recommend it, since it's only for convenience, I would say. Because, yeah, all the customizations are the same as what you can do in the Los Santos Customs and whatnot anyways. But still, it's nice to have if you have a lot of money and whatnot. And then the other two discounts, like I said, are on Open Road, like, website through the laptop and the Clubhouse. And that's 40% off MC Business Properties and MC Business Upgrades. which for that last one you do for the laptops, but for the businesses. So yeah, of course you'll want all 5 of the biker businesses. They're very good for making money. However, if you're a solo player like myself, I would highly recommend skipping out on them, or at least most of them. Because buying one thing of supplies, even just buying one whole thing of supplies, will, depending on the business, will give you more than a single vehicle. And some of the sell missions are very atrocious. So it's not very ideal for solo play. But of course, if you play in really big groups a lot of the times, it's definitely going to be very good. And basically, same thing when it comes to the upgrades. I highly recommend the staff and equipment upgrades, though. Security upgrade, it kind of depends on your situation. Like, if you're in lobbies for a really long time as a CO or MC or whatever, your stuff can get raided. However, I think if you just periodically, like, aren't in a CO or organization, you don't get your, like, stuff stolen or whatever. And the security upgrade, from what I hear, isn't even very useful. It barely, like, I hear it barely decreases the chance of getting raided or whatever. I've never personally been raided, I'm pretty sure, whether I had security upgrades or not. And I don't always do a lot of businesses, but from my personal experience, every single time I've even remotely had a lot of them, I've never really had that before. And by a lot of them, I meant product. And yeah, I'll go into the rest of the discounts, of course, for last, but Twitch Prime benefits, the only new benefit is $1 million for this week. Aside for that, it's the arcade property, the free arcade property in Pixel, which is Pixel P and Polita Bay, aka the one I have. And then the 2 vehicles, 80% off for exclusive discounts, being the Tempest and Vapid F&J. I'll go into more details of that, like I mentioned. And then additional 10% off, of course. And then those Twitch Prime things say they end on March 31st, which is really interesting. So I guess the Twitch Prime stuff ends like a lot later, of course, than the actual event week. Yes, in fact, this event week is only a typical week, for those who wonder, now that there's no, like, DLC vehicles anymore. Doesn't extend the event week, it's just a typical 1 week event week. So yeah, first set of discounts will be on this website. There was at least 4, I think, including Twitch Prime, so that would be 2 more, like, asides for that, I think. So yeah, starting off here is the first couple. So starting off is the Western Rampant Rocket, which I think is 35 or 45% off whether you have Twitch Prime or not. Indeed, it's 35% off. And this, I'm pretty sure it's mainly going to be good in customization, if it even is good in customization. If not, it's just a really, like, wacky tricycle-like vehicle. So it's very cool in that regard, of course. That's one of, like, coupled a few, like, tricycle-like vehicles in the game. So that's definitely quite nice, but yeah. This thing's not going to turn very well and whatnot, and I doubt it's very good in races for lap time or top speed, I would think. It's kind of just a kind of wacky vehicle, of course. Obviously, like, your thoughts would be personal preference for these kind of vehicles compared to, like, weaponized vehicles, which actually have a use in the game besides for racing. That's kind of just my thoughts on it, and I don't really recall how it performs from what I've watched on Ruffy 1322, but like I mentioned, I don't expect it to perform really good. And then Ocelot Locust. That is a 40% or half off discount if you have Twitch Prime or not. So the Ocelot Locust, cool thing about it actually that people might not know is it's a like retro vehicle from like, one of the London GTA games back in the GTA 1 days. So it's one of the like oldest GTA vehicles in the game when it comes to its debut and whatnot. So it's definitely a nice flashback kind of vehicle. Of course, it's also like a convertible, like sports car. I'm pretty sure it is. Might be supercar, but it's probably sports. But yeah, as far as performance, I wouldn't really expect too much from the Locust. I'm not too sure though. I feel with it being a convertible, like sports car, I feel those kind of like gimmicky kind of sport cars don't really do that kind of good. But yeah, I'm not very confident on its lap time or top speed, and judge it much myself, so I would refer to Bruffy 1322. He races like pretty much all the vehicles in the game and gives it a top lap time and top speed, which is quite useful, of course. And then the Pegassi Tempesta is one of the couple Twitch Prime exclusive discounts for this week. And it is $265,800. Which of course is quite a steal actually. And from what I personally remember with the Tempesta for its performances, for the price it's actually pretty good for its performance. Especially with it being on Twitch Prime discount, even more so of course. But from what I recall hearing that it's $1.3 million like regular price even for the price which you get this is actually pretty average for its performance and lap time and whatnot. Of course considering it's like $2 and $3 million vehicles these days of course on this website. So yeah, it's probably average, I would say still maybe. I wouldn't think it's in the like below average range of the superclass. Yeah, once again, it's very personal preference. Of course, these kind of like stock like racing kind of vehicles that don't have much of a purpose in the game besides for racing, for making money and whatnot. Yeah, as far as my thoughts on it, of course, once again, I've read roughly 1322. And then the Hakchow Drag. The Hakchow Drag is 35% off or 45% off, depending on whether you have Twitch Prime or not, of course. And the Hakchow Drag is basically right under the Shotaro when it comes to the motorcycle class, when it comes to regular vehicles. Obviously, the previous DLC, I'm pretty sure, brought the Rampant Rocket. But yeah, these two are essentially top two in the class, and if anything above the Shotaro, it would probably be its top speed, but I think Shotaro does beat the Hakchow Drag in both lap time and top speed. So Hakchow Drag, it's still a good option if you don't get the Shotaro. It is also a much cheaper option than the Shotaro, even at its regular price. Especially right now, it's like 4 times cheaper than it, but of course, if you do get it from the podium vehicle list, it's definitely quite good if you do get this. If you do get this from the podium, I don't recommend going for the Hakchow Drag, but if you, for some reason, don't think you're going to get this from the podium through the casino, of course, I would definitely go for Hakchow Drag at the price right now. And a big difference, of course, between the two is you're gonna not have such good, like, cornering ability. The Shotaro definitely vastly outclasses the Hakchow Drag when it comes to cornering. And also, interesting thing about the Hakchow Drag, by the way, is I believe you do have to use, I believe you have to push your, like, left stick forward or whatever in order to gain the most speed. Other vehicles, you have to, like, most vehicles in the game, of course, you have to push back on the stick to wheelie, of course, to get the best speed you can on the motorcycle. Hawkchild Drag, on the other hand, you have to go forward with the left stick. And I believe Nightblade or whatever the heck that motorcycle is as well is also like Hawkchild Drag, so it's one of the couple where you have to do the left stick forward instead of backwards to get the most speed, by the way. Which is especially important to know for racing. And then vehicles like the Shotaro, in fact, only the Shotaro you can do like back on the stick or forward on the stick for the like top speed for the Shotaro, I think. So definitely a couple of interesting things to know, of course, for when using them in races or time trials. And honestly, for time trials, Hawkchild Drag would also be a very good option since like right under the Shotaro, besides for like the weaponized like motorcycles and whatnot. So it's probably like second best for raceable vehicles. And of course, I'm not including like transform races, I mean more like traditional racing. So hopefully that was a good opinion on the Hawkchild Drag. I do really like both the Shotaro and Hawkchild Drag, so I would highly recommend the Hawkchild Drag. Of course, if you get this for the podium vehicle, I probably wouldn't get this one. And then the Vapid FMJ. That one's $350,000 right now, also 80% off, being the second and final Twitch Prime exclusive discount for the next 2 weeks. So instead of 1.75 mil, it's 350,000, so that's 1.4 mil in savings. And yeah, don't remember too much on this being its performance. If anything, it might be pretty comparable to the Tempesta in performance, not too sure though. Not sure if it's worse or better than it. But yeah, I would refer to Bruffy 1322, and that's kind of all I have to say about the FMJ. It's not one I really know much about. If it has like any sort of unique like trait or anything, probably does not, of course, like most vehicles in the game. Yeah, obviously for this kind of price, it's a steal, of course. So, of course, if you really want it, I would definitely get it for Twitch Prime, just like the Tempesta. I'd probably personally recommend the Tempesta more than the FMJ though. That might just personally be for me, but still. And then there was one glitch discount in here, and it seems it was the Hijack Chameleon, but that's not on discount. It's just a glitched up discount at the moment. So yeah, that's 5 there, and I think it's only the Mark II from there, I think. Gotta make sure though, make sure I don't skip out on any discounts. On a complete accident, of course. Right, yes, the last discount off the cover is the Oppressor Mark II. Honestly, since I went over everything else, I might as well go over the Mark II. I'm gonna check my video, I mean not video, but stream. Just wanted to see if someone rated it or whatever. Because I'm so used to dislikes anymore these days, because a lot of people in this world are fucking guns. That's just a straight up fact, I would say. Especially in like the GTA community and Red Dead communities. Obviously with the nature of them being M-rated games. But yeah, of course, the Oppressor Mark II is 30% or 40% off whether you have Twitch Prime or not. Pretty decent discount. With oh, really? Come on. At the way end of my stream, it decides to fuck up. Wow. Alright, I want to make sure that that was the lowest price. I don't know if there's actually a trade price on the Mark II, but still. You're going to save about 1.2 mil on the Press Mark II. Obviously, that's a great deal, for sure. Obviously not as good of a deal as like the Twitch Prime vehicles, obviously, but definitely very good. So the Oppressor Mark II, I would say it goes without saying, this is a highly good discount, for sure. Obviously, it's a successor of the original Oppressor, which I was flying around on stream with for a good bit of the stream, I would say. But yeah, I would say it's highly better than the original Oppressor. So yeah, first of all, of course, just like the original Oppressor, it has a rocket boost. The difference with the rocket boost on this one is though, is that of course, you can't use it as often or as much, of course, as the original Oppressor. So its mobility is a little more limited, I would say, when it comes to the rocket boost. However, it's still very good speed-wise, and in certain ways it travels better than the Oppressor, the original one. Though I think when it comes to getting from point A to point B, I personally recommend the original Oppressor. So in that regard, it's not that good, but it's not like its travel capabilities are that low, that much lower than the original Oppressor. So that doesn't really impact at all, in my opinion. It's still very good. And then, yeah, this one's obviously a hover bike, whereas the original Oppressor is more like a standard motorcycle with gliding capabilities. This one gets to stay in air infinitely, whereas the Oppressor, you have to constantly land with it to get into the air. So in that regard, it can definitely be quite better. And then now to get into its like weaponry and whatnot. So for countermeasures, you can of course get chaffs and flares. I think the only thing you can't get is the smokes, but who really uses smoke trails? Well, there are people who do use smoke trails, but they don't really provide any sort of impact. For the Oppressor Mark II, personally, I recommend the chaffs over the flares. I mean, we recommend flares for airplanes, not like helicopter-like vehicles. It's more like a helicopter, of course. So yeah, I would definitely recommend chaff. Also, when it comes to flares, you can just use like 2 missiles and you're pretty much guaranteed to take down your target. Or at least get a single hit. So every like chaff someone uses, just use 2 missiles. So yeah, chaff is definitely the way to go, I would say. Like with most vehicles. And then its weaponry, it has regular machine guns, I believe. Don't know if it comes with the regular machine guns or if you also have to buy those. So I don't know if it comes without them or if it comes stock with them. But either way, that's the worst of its weaponry. And I don't know if they're necessarily really good regular machine guns either. They might be like the regular machine guns in the game that take like 2 minutes probably to destroy a civilian vehicle, if I recall. Because believe it or not, there's actually quite trash machine guns in this game. And then, also going into machine guns, there's the explosive cannons. It's of course definitely a better version of the regular machine guns. They are also infinite ammo. It takes a good couple to few shots in order to destroy an unarmored vehicle. So obviously, when it comes to armored vehicles, that wouldn't necessarily be all that good. Of course, there's no limit on it, which is quite nice, so you don't have to like recall your like oppressor. But of course, if you really want explosive cannons and missiles, of course, you can just buy 2 Oppressor Mark IIs. But yeah, the best option for weapons, I would say, on the Oppressor Mark II is its missiles. Now, the missiles on the original Oppressor are nothing to write home about. They're like buzzard missiles, except they have no cooldown. I mean, when it comes to the lock-on or like buzzard missiles. So you're not really going to get guaranteed like shots on what you aim at, of course, with the original. The Mark II fixed that though, giving it next to the best homing missiles in the game. So while its homing missiles aren't as good as the Ruiner 2000 and like Scramjet and whatnot, other vehicles with like the best homing launch, with the best like homing missiles, like the Deluxo and whatnot, it's still very good. The missiles it has, they're not as accurate as those, of course, but they're right next to it. It's almost anything you're going to be using your missiles on, you'll pretty much have a sure shot hit on them. But yeah, I do highly recommend it, of course, even over the original Oppressor, and that's even after they put the cooldowns on it. I just use the original Oppressor because obviously it doesn't have like cooldowns and whatnot. Even Rockstar deems this vehicle very good that they decided in this latest update to put more like restrictions on the Mark II. But yeah, that's pretty much my whole opinion on the Mark II, so that's finally going to be it for this stream. Next stream, I might go for Pacific Standard, the Pacific Standard Heist, or I might do the rest of the genre story missions I still have to do, because I've been playing Red Dead a lot more recently. So either one of those two I'm probably going to do next. And obviously after Pacific Standard, I'll be going back to, like, Diamond Casino Heist or whatever. And those are more for miscellaneous streams if I do one. If not, then it'll probably be the Red Dead Online Event Week stream next week or whenever another one comes out. That's finally going to be it for this stream. Hope you enjoyed.